as a small business owner, have you ever had that moment where you're like, yay, I'm growing, and you tell everyone about what's going on? They're like, oh, but those are good problems. And you're like, there's still problems. Because if that's you, this video is probably a really good one for you. I've had more than my share of those moments where it's been like everyone going, "Oh my God, so I would love to have your problems." I'm like, "Sure you would." There's still problems. So I found someone that I could sit down with to try and just have a conversation a little bit about what do you do when you're at that place where like you feel like you're losing control, but you're growing and you have all these problems. It's a lot. So I actually won an award earlier this year with the Enterprising Women's Group. And I connected with one of the other award winners, Nadine, who is a fractional CFO. She is a certified small business consultant. She's an author. And by the way, okay, as an ADHD person, I'm just going to say, like, I loved going through this book because it was so easy to read. Like, this, it was awesome. Side note, I got distracted there. But she's really smart. She's good at this stuff. She is a true fractional COO. And so I said, hey, since you especially do talk with people about this, like how to deal when losing control feels like it's a sign of growth, maybe we can talk a little bit. So Nadine, thanks for coming and hanging out.
It's my pleasure.
So let's start with this one here. This like in your book, and this is what sparked it, right? You have a whole chapter talking about when you're losing control, and it actually does feel like like it is a sign of growth. It doesn't always feel like. Can you talk a little bit more about that and when it can be a sign of growth versus when it's just you're kind of stagnant?
Sure. So, great question. So, most business owners, once they hit a threshold, I'll say around, you get it under a million, you're wearing all the hats, you can sort of do it. But as you really start to get that to like that $1 million mark threshold on the like 1.9, $2 million mark, like it doesn't feel as good. You're stressed, you're overworked, nothing may be going right, right? Like you're just trying to do everything. And great, you've gotten there. Like kudos, you've gotten there. But now it's time to sort of rethink. And it's not that you can't do it or you can't grow. It's messy. You may feel like you're losing control, but most of the time, what I find, it's a founder owner not having a way to give up control. So it's about the control and not being able to delegate or not even knowing what they're spending time doing. When I
Yeah.
ask them, well, what are you spending time doing? They're like, everything, everything. So what does that mean? So again, it is a sign of growth and it's great and it's messy, but at that point, I find that it is uh, not knowing how to delegate, not having operational procedures or processes to delegate, and then to have those checkpoints. So that's typically what gets an owner founder stuck there, and it just feels like complete chaos.
Yeah.
Uh,
So I laughed when you said when you asked what they're doing and their answer is everything because that was the first word that popped into my mind because I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what I would say. So I talk with a lot of business owners, and when they start to reach that point, one of a couple things starts happening. Um, Usually they've tried to outsource in the past and it has gone poorly. And so now they have like this um like gut hesitation of like, I can't put this on anyone else's plate because no one else is going to do it like I am and get results like I have. Um, and then there's this other side of so some of it is like I don't feel like I can. And then this other side that I hear a lot is like I don't know how I could get someone else to do this because everything's in my head or ever like I don't know how. So where do you start with this when someone's in either of those spots?
yeah, good question. And I think you were like a fly on the wall in my house this weekend because believe it or not, I've been known to echo those words as well. Right? So I sort of wear two hats. As a business owner founder, um,
Hmm.
and a COO, and I can do it for people all day long, but doing it for yourself is sometimes a little more difficult. So the first thing to do is really to write a list and see what is on your plate. You can't be good at everything, right? Why did you start the business? And most CEOs or owners are probably extroverts. They like to sell, they like to build relationships. They were good at something. And
Hmm.
then through building relationships, their business started to flourish. But then came managing people, then came finance and accounting, then came, KPI tracking, then came, all those other things that they're probably not good at. Um, and so it's the first thing is what is on your plate? What do I like to do? What is it that I don't like to do?
Mhm.
What do I have the passion to do, but maybe not the ability to do? And maybe what is it that I have the ability to do, but I hate doing, right? So it's almost like there's four quadrants. So if you can really sit down and really analyze what you're doing, then you need to start doing a delegation and elevation framework. Who do you have on your team that you may be able to delegate those tasks that you are not good at and hate doing? Is there someone on your team? Or the tasks really that you should not be doing. Maybe you're passionate about it because it's busy work for you, but really should you be focusing your time there, right? So is there someone else on your team that can do that? Who can take that? What training do they need? Or what skills do they have today? And where is it that we need to get them?
Yeah.
And that's really so you're building the roadmap of what is it that I'm doing? Who can take it? And how can I get them there? There is a format in the book, in the back. It's called the Delegation and Elevation Framework. And that really is the first piece, is getting clarity on how you're spending your time. Use Clockify. I have a lot of the CEOs that I'm working with now using Clockify. Write yourself a job description as well. Like everyone else in the organization has a job description, but you don't. What are you accountable for? What are your KPIs? So just treating yourself as another employee to give yourself some clarity of what I should be doing versus what can others do for me, and then how do I get them there? There's a very simplistic answer, but it's probably the best framework to use to kind of get yourself unstuck.
I love that idea of even just like the very simple, like write yourself a job description. And I think for the small business owners who are going, oh my God, are you serious? Like, you really want to put all of that down? Yes. Like, I think that's the whole point. It's
Yeah.
like you can't get better at something until you have what your starting point is. Right? Like there's nowhere. So knowing that, okay, I am responsible for all of these things. And the ones I would encourage people, the ones that you write down that you cringe as you write them down, those are probably the ones that need to come off your plate the quickest.
And it's interesting because in every business, you need two parallel people, like a yin and a yang, right? You need a visionary, somebody who's going to go
Mhm.
out, network, do sales. And then you need an integrator, right?
Yeah.
Somebody who's going to be the puppeteer, sort of the traffic controller of the business, the day-to-day operations person, if you have a partner, right?
Yeah.
So you may, as a business founder owner, you may not be always that visionary. You may be that integrator. So
Yeah.
if you are the integrator, you're going to have to find a visionary. And if you're the visionary, you have to find the integrator.
Yeah.
Those are the two pieces.
I think we have this idea, and I'll kind of wrap with this for
Yeah.
our listeners out there. First of all, I do want to encourage y'all. This is on Amazon, right? I know you sent me a copy of the
Yes,
book.
it is
Okay.
time. Yeah.
I do recommend this. This was really
Okay.
easy to read. It was really, I really enjoyed this. But what I will encourage y'all to think about is like you uh I actually kind of lost my train of thought because I was thinking about the book there. But I will encourage y'all to think about, this jack of all trades type of thing. Um, there is no reason for you to be a jack of all trades, and a lot of times small business owners do the integrator and the visionary part to get to the million. But what you did to get to where you are is not necessarily what you will do to get to where you want to go. And so
Yeah.
we'll encourage you to evaluate at that point and realize that the point of being a small business owner is to build a life you love and build a life you enjoy. And you have the freedom and the flexibility to take the stuff off your plate you don't want to do. And so it's probably worth looking into how to do that. Even if it feels overwhelming, there are places to start. So, Nadine, thank you for hanging out with me. I know we made this brief to hopefully help my ADHDers get through this video, but this was very
Perfect.
helpful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Y'all go out there and make it a great day. Remember, you're not a jack of all trades. You are a brilliant, beautiful, incredible individual. Do what you do best, own it, love it. Talk soon.